For example, when jealousy is used. When jealousy is used to bring back somebody or to grab somebody's attention, you know how a person says, I'm going to make this person jealous so that he feels what he truly feels towards me, that he doesn't want to lose me. Sure, for some time, the jealousy is going to work, or it can work. But used continuously as a tool to invoke somebody's love, it's going to have its own negative effect or impact. Because jealousy is not a good ingredient to put into a romantic relationship. It can work for some time, for those people who are very laid back and they're like, oh, I don't care, I am taking this person for granted. There are people like that, they take people for granted in a romantic relationship, but ultimately using jealousy as a tool to invoke possessiveness and love in somebody else is not going to have a very good impact, or it's not going to have a very good effect, because as an ingredient, jealousy itself does not come from very good vibrations. It is a negative tool. It can work, though the outcome, if used in very small quantity, it can work. But if used extensively, it's going to have a negative impact going forward. Because when a lover feels jealous a lot, at some point, his inner immune system is going to build up. His mind is going to say, you know what? I don't want to feel jealous all the time. I don't want to live in this kind of an atmosphere where I need to be scared that I'm going to lose somebody anytime. And then it's going to have a negative impact. Jealousy, sometimes, if it's used playfully, very playfully, in a nice way, but not in a dark, negative way, can sometimes create a bit of a possessiveness, a light possessiveness. But it can't be used all the time. And it needs to be dropped, because dropped as a tool to create love in somebody else, because it's not a good ingredient. So even in love, the best ingredients that are put into a love story will create a great love story. And the love story will last. It will have beautiful wings to fly on. We'll have a good feel, we'll have a good vibration, we'll add positivity to the atmosphere. And then ultimately, that love story is going to last longer. Sometimes, if somebody wants to take the trouble of continuously putting good ingredients into their relationship, but they feel that it's taking time, yet, even though it takes time, because of the goodness involved, it's going to last longer. It's going to take off. It's like a little sapling, a little plant that grows in the best atmosphere. It might take a little time to come out of the ground and start to grow and to bear fruit. But it's going to last. And it's going to have a very nice feel to it. It's going to have a very nice feel to it, and it's going to add to the beauty of everything. So essentially, even in love, soulmate manifestation, good ingredients are really going to ensure the strength of a beautiful relationship rather than a lot of negativity and drama. And I've noticed something, that a lot of people who are or who have been very successful with rather dramatic news channels and debate channels, I've noticed that ultimately they get so much into the negativity. It has, it takes its toll. It has a price to pay. And other people are starting to notice that something is low vibration, something is high vibration. People are noticing that, okay, this particular debater did well for some time, came up with really good facts and logical stuff. But then at some time, this particular news broadcaster, anchor, host, debater got so entrenched into throwing negative news at people and to find things to debate about that they become completely entrenched and they rooted in it. And then they're seeking more and more drama that they can put out. And then people start to say that this person is losing it because their logic is not logical anymore. Or what they're saying seems to come from the space of, I really need to find something wrong with the situation and talk about it. And so that becomes their journey. They're seeking wrong things to talk about. And they get so into that, it becomes them, literally. And at some point, they lose the ability to discriminate between what is really truthful, factual, and logical, and then something else. And if you hear a child crying, it's because there is a child crying outside. Somebody just started to cry. So I can't block that because I do not have soundproof walls over here. And that's okay. It's a voice of a child. And in India, children are tolerated a lot, like completely tolerated. You can take them to a restaurant. They'll be crying their hearts out, or they'll be running around like crazy, and everybody's tolerating them and smiling. And nobody has an objection. This is just how the culture is. Children are very highly tolerated there here, so that is why children grow up very attached to their family, to their parents, and they have a very family kind of atmosphere. And so children feel free to basically do what they want to do. Ultimately, they all grow up okay, I suppose. So a child over here, if a child wants something, the child wants it. There's no disciplining going on. Oh, you can't have it, or this is more than your share, or time out into the corner. No child is ever put on timeout here. No child is punished. They can ask for whatever they want. The parents are very busy making sure they get whatever they want. So even if it's more than their share and they're still asking for it, they're still going to be getting what they asked for. And they can have a big tantrum. I want this. And the parent is saying, okay, I just have to focus on how do I give it to my child. There is no timeout concept over here. And if some very nuclear families have started this, or very modern families have started this, then it's certainly not Indian from its roots or from the culture, and children are completely tolerated, completely. But they grow up very sound of mind, you know. They grow up without resentment. They grow up without anger, and they don't feel like they've been denied anything. It doesn't matter if they're from a rich background or a poor background. The child is still going to be tolerated. The child is still going to be, the parents are still going to work overtime just to make sure that the child gets what they want, within their means, of course. But there's no such thing as you're not supposed to ask for this, or you're not, whether they can give it or not, that's a different question. They're certainly going to try. But Still, whether from a rich background or a poor background, somebody might regret their fact that they're poor, but they are never going to regret that they were, that my family did not love me or I wasn't cared for, or they're not going to grow up with these feelings. Most people over here are completely indulged, completely indulged. For example, I don't remember a moment where I was denied anything. Like literally, has anybody said no to me? Nobody's ever said no to me. Nobody has ever said no to me. Do I want this? Okay, I'm going to try to get it for you. That's it. And so children are so widely tolerated over here that they grow up thinking that they have good fortune, that they have great fortune. And so this feeling of the right ingredients, even going into a family or bringing up the child. Again, I'm not saying that our method is the right method, but I'm just saying that it seems to work in some ways that children don't feel denied and they feel completely pampered and they feel like they're the kings and queens, little princesses, little princes. No matter how poor or rich they are, they feel grand about themselves and they feel like everybody's there just to make sure that they're happy. So good ingredients are being put into family or into anything that we make. And so good fortune becomes the foundation of everything. And no matter how rich or how poor, they're still going to feel like they're the prince of the family or the princess of the family. They're still going to feel great about themselves because they're so important. They just feel they're completely important. And the Good Fortune Show is all about making sure that everybody is putting in the right ingredients into whatever it is that they're creating. And trust me when I say that the outcome is going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to last longer. It's going to have better reviews from people because people are starting to recognize low vibrations versus high vibrations. Ultimately, people are starting to realize that. And so all the good fortune is any project that you're going to be focusing on, that you're going to be creating, if all of the ingredients and the elements that go into this creation comes from a very, very high vibrational space, trust me that it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to have a very positive impact. And when we look at people around the world who have succeeded with very low vibrational products, we shouldn't get drawn into that, thinking that, okay, this is the way to succeed. Because that is just a way, when we see somebody succeeding with a very low quality product, that is a way to tell us that you're not going to succeed with a high quality product, so you better lower your standards. It's almost like someone outside of ourselves fooling us into believing that we need to lower our standards in order to succeed. We need to lower our standards in order to succeed. That if we go in for a lower vibrational product, it's going to succeed. Because now we are catering to the audience, to the public. And it's so easy for somebody to be fooled into believing that by catering to the mass tastes, that they're going to succeed. They may succeed monetarily, they may succeed, or they may succeed in gathering a great audience, gathering the masses around them. But what is the kind of masses that they're gathering? What is the kind of audience that they're gathering? Who are they gathering around them? I can give a very good example. I went to the theater a couple of days ago to watch a movie. And when I was looking at the website of that particular theater and the list of movies, there was this movie that I wanted to see. It felt high vibration to me. The story seemed to be good, or as good as it can get given the current movies. And I said, okay, you know what? Let's go for this movie. So we went for the movie. I don't know what happened. I saw it showed 10:30 a.m. That's what I saw. And somebody else also came and said, isn't this 10:30 a.m.? It turns out after going to the theater that it was 10:30 p.m. And what was actually at 10:30 a.m., because obviously since I've gone to the theater, I said, okay, is there any other movie? Was a horror movie in the morning. And they put this really nice movie, a beautiful movie, great entertainment, family, comedy, everything in it. Relationship, love, soulmates, beautiful costumes, atmosphere, surroundings. They put that at 10:30 at night. And a horror movie in the morning. And why? Because the horror movie was selling really well. So is this what is happening to the world? That nice movies are not selling and they're being given a night slot. I mean, who's going to go for a 10:30 movie, correct? Mostly it's couples who want to get away from the family or who are freshly dating. But anyways, 10:30 at night for a great entertaining beautiful movie with a good story. And morning, it was around 10:15 that the movie was a horror movie. And a whole list of horror movies following. I'm saying to myself, okay, and what is going on over here? Is this the taste? Is this the taste of the public, of the masses? And so, because so many people are tuning into this negative energy, and what are they going to attract in their lives if they're busy watching horror movies? So I did go and I spoke to the manager and I said, why do you have a really great entertaining movie at 10:30 at night and a horror movie at around 10:15, 10:20 in the morning? Is this the right way? And he said, this is what we got from headquarters, the people who decide. And I said, aren't you supposed to tell them that this is not the way to do it? Just the way that I'm telling you? I'm suggesting that you switch it around. You want to put your horror movies, first of all, you shouldn't be having horror movies, but who am I to tell them that? So, no, well, I did say that you should have better movies, but I said if you really want to have it, put it at night and put the nice shows in the morning and afternoon times. And he finally agreed that he's going to have a word with headquarters and asked them to change the timings of the movies. He finally agreed, but it took me a bit of convincing to let him know that you're trying to sell horror movies to the public and get them to choose that naturally, because most people are going to come during the day. Fewer people are going to come during the night. It's the people who are a different type of a category of people going in for 10:30 movies. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the masses and what these people think the masses are going to buy is what is deciding factors of how a person plans their marketing strategies and how they're going to plan their events. What is the topic that these events are going to be around? Because they think that they're going to draw more people with this. And this is, I think, a valid example of how a huge movie theater company, they've got movie theaters everywhere. They're planning how they're going to, the time slots that that they're going to give their movies. And then he's saying, no, because this entertaining movie is not selling so well. The horror movie is selling better. Oh my God. Is this what the masses are going to decide for people? And so people like me, we go there and I have no idea how I saw a 10:30 p.m. movie as AM. For me, it seemed like I saw AM, and then somebody else came there and said, isn't this movie supposed to be here on now? So it wasn't just me who got fooled or who read it wrong, whatever it is. So sometimes, there are things that cloud things and we see something, but it's actually something else. And this is what happened. So people who are using ingredients, negative ingredients, to create money, to create success, they can do it. It's not that it's not going to work. It's going to work for them. They're going to attract the people who match those vibrations as buyers. But is that the real audience that they want? Is that the real buyers that they want? Because that's going to determine their future going forward. For a lot of years, people are going to be caught in that because a very negative pocket of buyers are going to gather around this person. So another way to give an example is, let's say there's a huge category of monsters on Earth in the form of humans, correct? Not calling any human a monster. I'm just giving this as an example. So they're clothed as humans. They look like humans, but they have a basic monster vibration. And those people need these negative movies, like horror movies and very, very negative movies. And they need it for their sustenance. They need it as their entertainment. And let's say there are really nice angelic humans too. But the monster humans, monster vibration humans, are determining what is going to be selling. Because the monster category humans are coming forward and buying all of this negative stuff. And it's feeding them. And they're feeding this. So now the people who are making movies or who are releasing and creating time slots for movies are thinking that, oh my God, and they're not differentiating because they're not really thinking of monster humans versus angelic humans. So they don't think like that. They're just going to see what is selling. And then are they doing the world a favor by catering to this very low vibrational need for low vibrational products, movies, songs, and all of this information that is being put out there? So then this monster category humans, again, not calling any human a monster, I'm just giving this as an example of low vibrational, low thinking people. They are coming forward, they're supporting an industry, they're putting their money into it, they're the ones who are going to dictate, ultimately, what even the angelic humans are supposed to watch. And this is the actual battle that is happening on Earth. This is exactly what is happening, where the masses and the type of masses and the vibrational makeup of the masses, and whoever is the larger mass is dictating what the rest of the world wants to eat and watch and listen to and wear and see. This is exactly what happens when a city, which is originally a beautiful place of greenery and trees, is completely robbed of its greenery because a particular mass of people want to keep constructing and constructing and constructing. And then in order to construct, there are going to be more workers coming in. And the people who want the city to be completely an IT hub. And then they create the city which is devoid of trees. And more apartments, more and more construction. And then the workers come in for that construction. And then they create their little settlements. And this is how a beautiful city that was absolutely green becomes cemented. It becomes a cement place. And so what I'm saying here is something that has already happened. The masses that want the wrong things, that want the low vibrational stuff, dictate what the rest of the really nice angelic people want to enjoy. So a person who wants those trees, who wants the beauty, who wants the clean, fresh air, ultimately has to go without because of this huge, this huge push from the masses who want something else. So a person who wants to attract good fortune continuously has to resist and ignore. I would say ignore and resist the pull of the negative to feed it and to give it products that it can feed on. Might be tough at first, but if somebody continues, and this is where we bring in our stubbornness or our ability to stand by what we believe in. If we bring that and our willpower and our intentions, if we bring all of that into completely putting in or deciding to put in only good ingredients to create what we want to create, and if enough people do that, there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a shift, and a lot of angelic people who have high vibrational, who want to see high vibrational things, will start to get what they want to see happen. So it's this, I would say, which side is stronger? Which side is going to be supreme, or which side is going to stand out, or which side is not going to buckle down, and which side is going to stand by what it believes in. And so even for the Good Fortune Show and the Joyful Manifestation Show, there will be a lot of people who want to be interviewed on my show, and they want to bring negativity to it, and I just decided not going to do that. We want good ingredients for the show, and if everybody decides, okay, whatever product that I'm making, I'm going to put good ingredients into it, it's going to be a high vibrational product, will continue to emanate high vibrations into the atmosphere, into the room, into your home. And maybe you don't want to change the world, but at least your home, your cars, your family, everything can, and your work can be clothed in high vibrations, can consistently be created and continue to give out good fortune vibrations for yourself and your family. We're at the end of a show. We will be meeting again next week, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, next Friday, for the Joyful Manifestation Show. And until then, if you have the chance, get my book. It has to be by Sugandhi Iyer and the author name. And go back, listen to some shows, and continue to make sure that you're using good fortune ingredients, you're creating good fortune products, and that these are all great, amazing, joyful manifestation, good fortune energies that are going to be released from all of these things going forward into the future. This is Sugandhi Iyer, wishing you a fantastic rest of the week. I'm signing off for today's show, and I'm wishing you a fantastic rest of the day.